We're back once again, ladies and gentlemen, only on its After Hours, only on the After Hours YouTube channel. Now, join
I
me here
guess I
once again.
could.
She's back after a long hiatus. We were worried. We
Yeah.
sent out search parties, but she was recuperating, recovering, and planning for a big 2023. Casca Akashova here is joining us on the line. And also, I give you the sexy, the beautiful, this voluptuous tattooed goddess who I've already heard Ivan of I Am Ivan and of Puma Films is smitten with. He's talking some deals. We can't talk about that yet. I give the beautiful Miss Puffy Bunny. So Miss Bunny, let's start off here with you and I talked online about what's going on here. About a lot of directors sometimes, especially with the new tests and all the testing, they'll fly you out, then they cancel, and then they're not paying for the test. How frustrating is it now where the testing is becoming more expensive, but
Yeah.
if they get canceled, nobody pays for it.
Well,
You
I want to
Let's
hear
give Miss
from
Bunny.
you because uh,
Yeah, let's give Miss
I
Bunny the
kind
floor
of,
first. So
yeah, I would like to hear
it's not
from
going to hurt.
you,
So
and then I'll give my opinion. Yeah, because I'm going to find this very interesting. Please, I would like to hear your side of the story.
so my thing is like if you're booking someone, right? I mean necessarily don't have to pay for the test, but like out of common courtesy, don't cancel because it's like that you're already
Yes.
so much more for the test for that shoot. And then for them to cancel, it's like you sit there with the test and it's like you lost all that money for what? And we don't really,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like this is like a stable income. It's kind of like you're taking a risk by paying for the test, just to get canceled on.
I think that's so true, and people don't realize. A lot of people who are not familiar with the inner workings of the industry, they think we get royalties and like everything expensed. No, that's
No,
not true. Depending upon how you handle things, like I pay for my own hotel, my own flight. I don't stay in a model home. I invest in myself, my own clothing, everything, unless, sometimes like when you're working for Brazzers and stuff like that, then they're like, no, we want you to wear this. And I'm like, oh, okay. But um, you invest everything in yourself. You pay for your own, testing it. Makeup. Yeah, they pay for makeup for you, but half the time I'm like, no, can you use mine?
yeah,
Because I try to take, really good care of my skin, and I just, you learn over time, you have preferences and whatnot. Um, so people don't realize like what's really involved, or if you jewelry, you do your nails, you get facials, your hair, like
you're the product. You have to sell it. It's not like you can let yourself go. You have to keep up not only your appearance, you have to keep up with everything else in your life. So,
exactly. And it's crazy. And for someone to bring you out there, or even if they say like, okay, we'll give you, $100 allotment, and like before when they were doing COVID all the time, and they're like, okay, well, we'll give you like the $30. And it's like, well, what about the 150, 100 and something else that we pay every 2 weeks?
yeah,
Nothing towards that,
people don't tend
but
to
they
get
want it all the time.
it's
So
sad.
people don't realize how much that cuts into your lovely flat rate that we get, that we don't have any control of our image, um the video, and they're like, oh, well, we want that video. Well, so do I. Okay. I want more control over um what the company does with my image and branding, since I put so much into it. So
True.
in regards to that, how do you respond and feel? Because you still want to work with these companies, because it's good marketing, but other than that, really, like, what do they do for you? That's how I see after being in the business for how many years. Like, I appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like,
You're right. You're right. It's kind of like it's not enough.
it's
I
not.
feel it's not. Or like with the testing, there also has to be I know they're working on it right now. There has to be some sort of like we don't have health insurance. We don't get those sort of things
Yeah.
with what we do, which sucks. But it's kind of like
No.
it's always a risk on our part, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like maybe like not that, like, maybe we could get, like, if someone's booking you, right? At least you maybe not pay for the flight, maybe just pay for the test to assure us that we're gonna be okay if you
Exactly.
cancel.
Well, here's my bigger concern for you, Miss Bunny, and also for you, Casca. Not as much Casca, but for you, Miss Bunny, because you're sort of newer. You
Yeah.
know, content trade's the big thing. That's what sells for the girls because it's OnlyFans, it's mini vids, it's AIP, it's everything. Pornhub. You don't get paid when you do content trade yet. It's the investment, and it's a great investment for a lot of people, but you're paying out of pocket. And as we had Luna Lark explain, yesterday, like that, you caught it. Pay you need to take care of your own makeup. You need to do all this now with the
Hmm.
extra testing. How tough is that? And especially for a lot of people who are looking, going, I can't afford that unless it's a model house. I get a bunch of people together. Maybe it's worth it. And even then, you're looking, going, how am I gonna pay for all this?
That's true. That's true. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm lucky that I still work my day job, so I'm lucky in that aspect. But like thinking about it, like I've thought about it, I'm like, literally, if I got fired, if something happened with my day job or anything, then I can't pay for any of it. That's the problem with how much it's starting to cost, with just like the price is going up, like more things happening in the industry.
Hmm.
It's kind of like I honestly can't afford it if I didn't have my day job. But a lot of people rely on this full time. So it's a bit more difficult when you rely on this full time and things just keep happening, which is, it sucks. But what's your opinion on it?
Well, it's a very interesting industry, and here's the thing, because I've at certain points, I think especially when OnlyFans first started, I concentrated more on other aspects of my career, um, because it was just I traveled so much, I was focusing on other things, and I really didn't focus on OnlyFans that often. I just didn't have time, and I was,
Yeah.
you're so exhausted between trying to balance a personal life and a career and trying to brand yourself. You're kind of like, oh, okay. So
And you didn't know
you
how big it was
yeah,
going to get, right?
yeah. And like when you're thinking about it, okay, so you're trying to do content trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
After doing your scenes, because you're trying to like book that at the same time. It's exhausting. People don't realize how physically exhausting. So, depending upon who you're shooting with and
Mm-hmm.
how long the scenes take, you're sitting there shooting for how many hours doing your stuff. And then like, okay, now you're trying to do content trade with, and you're like, no offense, no matter who they are, how excited you are, how amazing it is, you're still like, ah, okay.
You're tired,
What?
burnt
Yes,
out.
you're tired. People don't realize that. Or if you're trying to do a photo shoot afterwards, or you're trying to do something, towards your own business. So, how sometimes spreading yourself too thin, it gets exhausting after a while. So trying to focus on too many things at once, something, whether it's your personal life or some part of your career, is going to be jeopardized.
Yes,
And sometimes it's your health too. So people don't realize it's a lot.
it is.
It's a
It
lot.
because
Um,
too. It's like your mental health. When you get burnt out, that also affects that. And then you have to find the motivation to want to do the content trade. You could be like, oh, what am I really going to get out of it? What if it doesn't sell? Then it's like you have to kind of motivate yourself to actually go and do that. Because again, you're not getting the money out of it right away. You don't know you're taking a risk by doing that.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize too. Is that certain people are different. Some people are like, oh, this person's OnlyFans took off. Okay, well, I'm not people in our industry, depending upon who you are not in the same bracket as someone that they've never seen their tatas all over the internet.
Yeah.
you know, Not to put it that way, but it's true. Some teacher from, I don't know, Glasgow or, Cincinnati, they've never
Yeah.
seen her before. So they're going to be like, oh, let's go see her because we've never seen it. And that's great for her. But we're in a different circumstance where, yes, we have a fan base, but it's very different because people have seen us in scenes. People have seen our stuff online. They see our stuff on Twitter, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
So it's very different. So we have to kind of, in some ways, work harder and offer them, more creativity, more things. And it's quite exhausting. Sometimes people don't realize it's not that we don't appreciate our fans, don't love our fans, don't want to offer them some of the things that they're requesting. It just takes more.
It takes more, yeah, because we also have to do our scenes. That's the thing.
Yeah, we have to do our scenes, or maybe trying to work on other things, or people don't realize that we also have a personal life and we're trying to balance that too. And that can be, quite exhausting as well. Um, if you have a household to manage, family, friends, we're humans and we are people.
Yeah,
So, do you find trying to balance all of that, being new and adjusting, quite interesting as well?
I do. My difficulty is like manage all my while
Yeah.
working, like while balancing my personal life, balancing my day job, balancing the scenes. I do get a little overwhelmed, and like I try to explain, like I do appreciate my fans. I just try to explain to them, like, hey, if they want, like they can still request customs, but like I'm like, hey, it might take a couple of days. Like I'm literally like sometimes I just come home doing a work, doing a scene, having things to do at home, and I'm like, I'm literally I can't stay awake. I'm like my body, I can't do it, and it's just hard. Even me being new, it's hard. I'm trying to figure out how to like balance it all.
So how long have you been in the industry so far?
7 months.
Oh, you're getting to almost a year, so you're getting a pretty good idea about how it works.
How it works, yeah. I'm still learning. I'm still learning some things. You make mistakes, but
Yes.
learning from the mistakes I've made, like how to probably like how do I say, like how to do things better or smarter.
So what do you think some of those are then, just for everyone listening to you or people who might also be coming to the industry? What are those things that you've learned for yourself that you might want to advise other people who are coming to the industry?
I say know your self-worth. If like
Yes,
you have a price, and let's say your price, like it could be high, it could be low, it could be in the middle, but not letting anyone lowball you for your price. Because at the end of the day, if they really want to shoot you, they will pay it to shoot you.
it's true.
Yeah.
I think that's very good advice. I think a lot of people feel intimidated.
And you shouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I think there's always a way to say something, like, be polite, but just stick to your guns in a polite way. You don't have to be upset or angry. Just be like, you know what? I'm gonna, really stick and I believe in myself and not be afraid to walk away out of certain scenarios. I think that's also a good one.
Yes. If it's not going to benefit you, or because also like certain times your safety is involved in it. If you feel something's out of place, don't do it. Or like if you haven't done your research, you haven't heard of the company, whether it's like a new production company or anything,
Yes,
do your research, make sure you're okay, ask for references, for ask people in the industry. Like I've reached out to girls I don't know who've worked with certain people, and I'm like, how work?
absolutely.
And they're kind enough to tell me, okay, I had a bad experience with them. Hey, like I had a good experience with them. It's always good to just make sure you think of yourself first, because it's you're the one that's gonna have to deal with the consequences to anything.
Absolutely, 100%. Chris, was there a question you wanted to ask? I think I cut you off. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
So, Bunny, how tough is it right now for you? First, let me ask you this: what do you look for in talent? Is it looks? Is it attitude? Is it personality? I mean, because there's all different sizes in the industry here, and not everybody looks, like a Casca Akashova or a, Ebony Mystique. I mean, there's people who are small, who are tiny, who are BBWs, who are, older. Like, what for you? Just is what do you look for when you're going? You know what? I want to shoot content with this person. I want to work with this person.
I look for personality mostly. It's your attitude. Like I can't if we're not clicking or you're not, because I'm very nice. I'm very sweet. I like to talk. If you're just very standoffish, you're like you don't seem like you want to be there or anything, or you're a bit too rough, then I'm like I don't want, or I'm not really gonna enjoy the experience. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna enjoy the experience. I probably won't want to work with you again. It just depends. It's mostly personality, like how it is like when you introduce each other, or like you introduce yourself to like each other. It depends on that. Mostly for me. I don't really care for the looks, as long as you're not looking like I don't know, crazy, then it should be fine.
I think that's really true though. Um, I mean, there's always like people that you're more attracted to, but I think it's usually kind of like also what they exude,
Yes.
sometimes more sensuality when they're there. But also I think I always appreciate, and especially from the men, because women I think are always different,
Yeah.
when they introduce themselves and make small talk. I always appreciate that, no matter whether they're newer or veterans. I always appreciate that. The ones who just completely ignore you, I always find very awkward because then I'm like, ooh, this is going to be probably not a great scene. I'm like, they probably lack manners, then they probably like lack hygiene as well.
That's true.
and and usually they do go hand in hand. If they lack manners, then they're probably lacking in the hygiene department.
Yeah. Hygiene's another big thing for me. I'm like, just I understand if they say like they showered earlier in the day, but I'm like, you're going to a shoot. Take a quick
Hmm.
shower. Like just shower.
Hmm. Listen, I'm gonna be all up in there, so could you just,
Can you
you
just hop in
know,
the shower for like 5 minutes? That's it.
like trust me, I'll be down there way longer than you'll be down here. It's usually
Yes.
how it goes. I will be worshiping that area like you have no idea.
It's a fact.
It's true. It's like
But
70-30.
I agree with you. Usually if they're like 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 standoffs or like it's awkward, they don't want to talk to you, then it's like they don't really care to be there. They don't care. They just want the money.
Mm-mm. Which is, you would think it's strange because a lot of the time, especially the newcomers, gentlemen wise, and women as well, they're there to, get with women and get paid.
Yeah, you get both.
You know, you get both. So it's especially awkward when they don't say anything to you.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been on a date? So if they ever ask me, advice, I'm like, pretend you're going on a first date. And then if they still don't do anything, I'm like, have you ever been on a first date? Do you know
Yeah,
how to approach women? Because I'm a, I'm a little concerned here that maybe your parents never taught you how to approach women.
I
Uh,
mean, girl's not exactly your type. Still try to make her comfortable because at the end of the day, I feel like when a girl's uncomfortable, you can feel that when you're performing. Because
yes.
if we're uncomfortable, we're gonna be tense, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't want either one to be tense. And it's kind of like, okay, this man, it's awkward, and then when he's touching stuff, you're gonna tense up because you don't know who it is. You basically didn't talk and introduce each other, so it's like you don't know basically don't know who's on top of you right now.
So it sounds like you've had one of those moments. If you have, tell us about it. You don't have to obviously mention names, but
Yeah.
tell us the situation that you encountered.
I basically had a shoot, and like the guy didn't even talk to me. I introduced myself. I said,
Oh,
"I'm Sunny Bunny," and I said it like at a first night, and like, he's like waved his hand at me like, "Just come on," and he didn't speak
oh,
the whole time.
oh.
And awkward. It was so awkward. I remember like me just getting ready after. I threw my clothes on so fast. I need to get out of here because I'm not even like I feel like I'm disturbing him.
See, that is so awkward because even with like the professionals or people that have manners, even at the end of the scene when you're wrapping up, and they usually like disclose at the end, because you have to close out, with the video and whatnot before you get paid. Usually they'll be like, listen, it was a pleasure working with you, or at least something. They'll be like, hey, I just wanted to say it was nice working with you, or vice versa. Usually someone will see that.
Yeah,
And that I'm like, okay, that person knows how to deal with talent, whether they're
yeah,
new or professional. I'm like, you know what? It was a pleasure with working with you too. Thank you so much. I had a great time. I look forward to working with you again. And that's great because that's developing a rapport.
yes,
And that's how it should be in the business because you are incredibly intimate,
yeah. You
you
based your
know.
sex. It's very
Exactly. It's like
yeah,
we just met, we were just intimate, and you're not gonna even say goodbye.
yeah,
That it's like,
crazy.
no offense, I don't care what you call it. You need to develop a rapport with that person. And if
Yes.
you're just gonna leave, that doesn't make me want to be like, oh yeah, that was so great. Let me work with you again. No, but it's the same thing about being a professional. No matter where you are in business, what type of business you are, you want to develop a good rapport with that individual, female, male, it doesn't matter. You should always do that. And if you
Let me
don't
jump
know
in
how to
here
do
because
that, you should.
let me jump in a bit because we're getting there negative. So I want to get positive. Bunny, who do you like working with? Like, give me some people that you've enjoyed working with, either because
Well, she
great
hasn't worked with
performance.
me, so she can't say.
All right, yeah, but not yeah, of course, but I mean, like, who are the some people that you've enjoyed working with because they just are good people? You know, you look and go, oh, I'll have dinner with them. I want to be
Um,
their friend. They're just good people.
who have I worked with? I love Rome Major. He was just from the moment he walked through the door, he was making me laugh. He was just amazing. Like his personality, um, like he just made me so comfortable. Even after I was willing to if I wasn't busy, because this was during like the Exotica weekend. If I wasn't busy, I would have like probably been like, hey, you want to get drinks and like just chill, just like get like be friendly, like chill. Because he was great. Who else have I worked with that's great? Um, is this talent or like producers too?
Anybody you
Yeah.
want, talent producers, like people that you look and go, I want to work with them again.
I love the Beep show. I loved working with him. Um, who else have I worked with? Talent, Devin Drills. He was amazing too. He made me very comfortable. I feel like I've worked with everyone I've worked with except maybe like two or three people. Not even three. Like maybe two people. I've gotten along with them and I enjoy working with them. I haven't really had any bad experience. I've had awkward moments, but not bad experience.
But that's good though. I mean, I think we've all had awkward experiences.
Yes. I
I
feel like
think
it's
Now
that's
for
nice.
you, now for you, what's easier, working with a guy where he can be the dominant person because you're most guys are bigger than you, or do you like working with women where you might get that smaller girl that you can sort of dominate, but you can be the aggressor
For me or for her?
for Miss Bunny?
oh for me, I don't know. I haven't really worked with girls that much except for like personal stuff. Um,
Ooh.
it's been like more personal, but like definitely like I've usually like when the guy is more dominant because he kind of leads the scene and then like or like he'll lead things and then I'll like slowly like show him what I want a little bit through it. But I like for him to basically take the lead.
So let me ask you then, the roles that you get are usually the men the seducer and you're the seducee, or are you the seducer and they the seducee?
Usually it's like it goes like it'll usually be like I feel like most of my roles are always the same. It's always centered around my butt. So they'll be more like,
Like,
oh, shake your booty, seduce him. So I'm more of like the
mm-hmm.
seducer in
Yeah.
a sense, without really saying it. It's kind of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I seduce him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Seduce him with that sunny bunny behind.
Funny.
So now that makes me curious that you mentioned that you haven't really done much professionally with women. So what do you mean by personally? Hmm?
I've done I mean, I'm bisexual. So like I've
Ah,
had fun with girls. I mainly do like collabs with girls
yeah.
because I'm very selective with the guys, like for collabs, because some guys will say, "Oh, I'm a content creator," and I'm like, "I've never heard
Mm,
of nothing in your profile." But the girls are usually more established. They're more fun to work with when it comes to collabs for me personally, because like it's not just we're just gonna go have sex. We're probably gonna drink. We're gonna talk. We're gonna
yeah,
fun before
that's
and
true. It's
like
true.
so like I get a little bit of both. I get a friend and also get to have sex with like this hot girl. So
It's true. That's a
what about
very valid point. The differences in the what she's saying.
yes,
That usually like when you have a guy to collab with, it's usually wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and you do your collab and you're done
yes.
normally. But when you have a girl come over, you're like, oh hey, what's going on? How's your day? Hey,
Like
you
you
want to
guys
have a drink? Sure. Okay. It's true. It's very different, normally.
Yes.
Hmm. And then maybe sometimes you might even include it in the collab. You're like, hey, you want to start filming? I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true. It's more in a way comfortable and easygoing and more spontaneous, I want to say, in some regard.
Yeah, and girls are more open-minded. Like I've had girls where I'm like, "Oh, can I spank you?" And they're more open-minded. If I ask a guy if I can spank him, he's gonna be like, "What?"
Can I stick my finger in your butthole? No.
Yeah.
It's true. It's interesting how that is. Girl, I think are more open, and obviously the vice versa is more limited at times, depending upon, of
Yeah.
course, who you're with. Not always, but it's usually that way.
But
So yeah, it's very interesting.
yeah.
So what's
Well,
your
we're gonna wrap this
favorite
up. So
then?
before we
Oh,
let
no,
you
go
go,
ahead.
Miss Bunny, where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, the website? Like, where can fans contact you at?
So, okay, let me pull up my links. So my Twitter is Puffy Bunny. My stage
Mm.
name is Sunny Bunny, but they won't let me put that. So I had to use Puffy Bunny. So it's PuffyBunniee. That's my Twitter. And then my OnlyFans, I'm not sure if you can look me up as Sunny Bunny on OnlyFans, but you could just put it's Puffy Bunny. Wait, did I pop? Wait, did I disappear? I disappear? Okay, good. But it's Puffy Bunny as well. You can find me on OnlyFans. It's same thing. It's PuffyBunnie, but only one E for OnlyFans. Or you can find me on Instagram as Sunny Bunnies.
So do you have a link on your Twitter then
I do
that
have. I
shows
have
how to, okay.
yes, I have a link tree on my
Okay.
Twitter, and I also have my link tree on my Instagram. If you do find me on Instagram, it's actually Sunny Bunny, so you'll find me on there too. But yeah, those are my links. Everything's like linked on there. I have like so many sites, but
Ooh.
it's all on that one link.
Well, guys, you heard it straight from her. If you want to find all the little fun stuff that little Sunny Bunny does, it'll be on her social media. You can click on her link tree and find everywhere that she's at. It was a pleasure talking to you, finding all the ins and outs, and we'd love to catch up with you later after you've been here a year and see what other fun stuff you've been up
Yeah.
to.
Yes, I can't wait. It's nice talking to you guys, and this is fun.
Likewise.
Do this again, but this is fun.
Absolutely. It's always fun catching up and seeing what other naughty things you've been up to. Well, we'll check you